So we're live.
We're live. He
For the,
doesn't smoke tobacco.
yeah, nah, I'm good, man.
Pure. He's pure. Tobacco.
I'm pure. No, that shit's really strong, but we're live for
We're
the
live
first
for the
time
first time
in YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah.
Oh,
So
You got some
beautiful.
words for us, Mark?
yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Move a little bit to the side, but I
Cool.
mean,
Yeah.
very much. Just want to say hi to our viewers for the first time in YouTube. We have been doing podcasts on pretty much audio wise on different platforms, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, but we've been working with the we've been trying to get the YouTube live set up, and this is our first try, so we'll see how it goes. Want to welcome you, Eddie.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for coming. I know it's been like a back and forward thing, but we finally got you here, brother.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. It's definitely my first podcast, so super blessing. First time YouTube, new cycles, seeds being planted for awesome things to come.
Yeah, man. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
So what do I do? I right now I primarily have been working on sound healing. So I have like my weekly classes going at the Living Arts Collective in Durham. Shout out to Bruce and Aubrey for holding the space out there. It's been super rewarding. We've been doing it for a year now. Weekly classes. We started off in the basement of the Living Arts Collective, and now we're blessed up upstairs,
Uh-huh.
and we have like 20 to 30 people coming weekly, and it's a really powerful class where we check in with breath work. We do like some Wim Hof pranayama hybrid that my friend Theo Fesser from I Breathe Consciously, and Donovan from Xylem, who we collaborate on the sound. Theo runs the breath, and then I do the organic sound healing. Donovan is a key master looping, so we got sound alchemy, and then organic roots, and then Theo pumping air, and yeah, people have been getting really and having really rewarding experiences. So it's been a blessing to be able to step into that space. Last night we held a Cacao Ceremony at Brian Farrell's yurt out in Hillsborough.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 200 yards out in the woods, and it was really beautiful to have the sounds of nature interacting with the acoustic set. We poured raw cacao from Ecuador. It's a biodynamic, fair trade, organic, ceremonial grade cacao paste. And we also served some hape as well.
Happy. I heard of happy before.
Yeah, it's this Amazonian snuff. Its main ingredient is Nicotine rustica,
Wow.
and
What you just smoke?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mapacho.
Mapache.
And yeah, so I've got this deer antler that was crafted by a friend that I've been using to facilitate, and it's been really beautiful. People have been connecting with spirit and getting a lot of beautiful messages. So I'm just appreciative of the medicine working in a good way for everyone I've come in contact with. So it's a blessing to be doing this work. Yeah, so I do the sound healing. I'm also a painter.
Awesome.
Do visionary art.
Awesome. I already like you a lot, man.
Visionary psychedelic art painting.
See, I like people like you, brother. I can tell you since you walked in, that energy that was just radiating from you, man. Like
Thank you.
this peaceful, warmth energy. When I give you the hug, they was just this warmth energy, man, coming out of you.
Thank
It
you.
was beautiful, man. I'm really glad that finally got to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah. We were going back and forth, and like it was my sister's birthday, and so I had to drive to Charlotte, and then I had an event. So I'm glad that we were able to line it up. It's like I said, it's a blessing to be able to speak online and be broadcasted like this to everyone.
Do you want to bless us with some sound before we start?
Yeah,
Dip
definitely.
into it.
Yeah, I've got my flute here.
Yeah, play something,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I'll play a little.
You can hold it for you.
Yeah, I'll play a little flute for everyone.
That's awesome. Beautiful, man. That was beautiful,
that was
brother.
beautiful, brother.
Oh my god, yeah, that's
Oh,
cool,
you just got me the
man.
chills, brother. Those got me the chills. Like my ancestors are working up, man. They're like all over my skin and everything, man. I was like, whoa,
I
this is pretty
like
dope,
that,
man.
What got you into this journey, man? What got you started into this journey about? I don't know. I hate to use terminologies like this. It's not. I'm against these terminologies, but I feel like they've been using so much that they actually lose the value of the power that these have.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a, how would you say it?
Ah, man, yeah. I would just say
Higher consciousness. What got you
I
into
would-
this higher consciousness? I guess journey. I guess if you want to call it something, right?
Yeah, I think my mom, like just, she's always been like a woman who's been really spiritual and like in a non-dogmatic way, like
Uh-huh.
she's really universal, picking from a lot of different spiritualities and just talking to me about, the journey of the soul, and then yeah, I mean like high school I kind of like got into sports and stuff, so I wasn't as in touch with art and music as I would have wanted to be, but as soon as I got into college I started experimenting with psilocybin mushrooms and DMT, and yeah, those were gateways that got me into the festival scene, going out to electronic music scenes and like camping out for 4 days and seeing that, and then eventually finding myself in indigenous ceremonies.
What called you to your roots, basically?
I mean, I've just always had this like yearning of, of self-discovery, and not wanting to, or just, I've always been
Conform?
really unorthodox about
Mhm.
going about my life. So, like I was, classically trained when I was like in third or fourth grade violin, but like in college, I kind of just picked up a djembe, started playing the djembe, and like picked up the guitar, and the didgeridoo, the flute, and I was able to study abroad in Australia for 6 months, and study abroad in Spain and go to France and Morocco. And, yeah, basically wherever I would go, I would pick up the instruments that people were playing around those areas, or
The native instruments.
the native instruments, and it would those and just going out into nature and playing them. Going out to national parks, a lot of national parks, and camping, and sitting around the campfire and playing instruments. And then and the indigenous ceremonies, going to ayahuasca ceremonies in southern Colombia, in Putumayo, and drinking the yahe, and then also sitting with the Native American church up in Asheville with the Lakota family, and they run the Peyote Sweat Lodge. And that's a beautiful blessing too. They go to Sundance every year, and they also connect with the tribes in Mexico. And he actually was recently in Colombia too, one of my mentors. So it's a super blessing just to be around those circles and reflecting those circles into the breath work and the sound healing. I also make jewelry too, so
Oh yeah.
I got a piece.
Oh, that's nice,
It's
man.
like it's like mostly like wire wrapping, like
Yeah.
talisman, kind of similar to what you do.
Yeah.
So I like to like make jewelry. I like to make like herbal elixirs.
That's awesome.
And just be really creative about the way I make money. And I feel like just being able to have my time to discover myself while I'm here on this planet, and then be in service. I feel like those are the two things that call me while I'm here walking around.
That's a quote, right? A lot of mystic teachers have thought about if anybody, like I said, these terminologies are ridiculous to me, but they said if you have achieved some form of higher consciousness, they said like Buddha said, one thing is to cross the river and stay on the other side, but another thing is to come back for the rest of the people. You cannot just cross the river and stay there and be there. You can go to a monastery, become a monk, and stay in that state where you are, like you say, walking on water all the time. And another thing is to come back for the rest of the people who are still waiting for you or waiting to take that journey across the river.
Right, like the bodhisattva, or
Yeah.
like the idea of the Buddhas that come back because we're all one, so we need all of our family together.
We need to come together. It's one, right?
Yeah, we need all the homies to be together.
Hell yeah. That can be very tough sometimes, man.
Yeah.
As regard to like you, I know in your practices, especially when it comes to plant medicine, and especially in the area, like I feel like the area in Chapel Hill, Durham, there's a lot of people that are starting to practice more of a, I guess it's called
Holistic?
Eastern Asian practices, where they don't really believe in plant medicine to be a sustainable source of, I guess I would call it, quote unquote, enlightenment, And what do you think about that? Do you have a lot of people that give you a lot of pushback when it comes to plant medicine? Or like whenever you talk about plant medicine, or do you even advocate it at all?
Yeah. I mean, plant medicines are definitely a controversial topic, especially in the public sphere. Like just Hape, in itself, just finding a venue that feels comfortable having people receive that medicine can be challenging, or having it an insurance company that how do you explain that at a certain level. But I feel like at the same time, there's like this, it's like kind of like an underground or nonprofit sort of like circles that, you know, are more, I guess it is more of an underground thing. You don't see it, you know, I mean, cacao is like the most, like the plant medicine that's being like, that is like socially accepted.
Yeah.
You know, right now is like cacao and tobacco is like right there too. You
Yeah.
know, like those are the two that are like okay, that are, you know, like they're psychoactive in their subtle ways.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like if you activate breath and sound, you can create a psychedelic experience
Yes.
with
Pranayama.
with
Breathing.
exactly. I mean, just pranayama breathing itself can create a
Psychedelic.
psychedelic
Yes, of
experience,
course.
which is beautiful. You can get high on your own supply, so you know no one's gonna bother you for that.
Terrence McKenna said everybody's holding.
Yeah,
Everybody's
right.
carrying something in your own
Yeah.
mind, your own lungs, and the liver. That produces. It's proven now in some mammals that in the lungs, the liver, and now I think in rats, it's proven that the pineal gland produces dimethyltryptamine, DMT.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's kind of ridiculous that these substances are illegal when your own body produces it. You know, it's like we make serotonin illegal.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I feel like as people start to understand the therapeutic benefits and more people, you know, have positive transformative experiences like healing from addiction or
Yeah.
negative mental patterns,
Depression,
and
anxiety.
depression, stuff like that, they're gonna see, you know, that that these pharmaceuticals that are, you know, just first off, like to produce them, they're like destroy the planet, and then you know have all these crazy side effects
Yeah.
when you have Mother Nature, the most powerful, you know, pharmacist.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
The most
very
powerful
true.
chemist, you know?
Yeah.
Big chemist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got it covered, you know.
You got it covered, you know?
Yeah, we just have to listen to her, and you know she will provide everything that we need. So yeah, I definitely think that's something that, you know, is changing in a really subtle way. You know, I feel like definitely just with the government we have in place right now, it's pretty, you know, like it's pretty intolerant and militaristic of these sort of substances.
Hostile. It's hostile
Yeah,
to what actually is beneficial to humanity
Right.
in a way, you know?
Right. Yeah, they instill like a sort of fear, like, oh, if you're interacting with these things, then you're not gonna be safe. You
You're a
know?
bad person.
Or you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
So.
this retard of Jeff Sessions. If you smoke weed, good people don't smoke weed. I can actually literally tell you a list of great people that actually consume and have openly said I smoke weed. You know, maybe you go back to history, and a lot of people back in history, Shakespeare or I don't know who else, but that's the only one that comes to mind right now. Shakespeare. When they found their pipes and they, you know, studied the resin of the pipes, he was smoking cannabis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, my little sister, she had an autoimmune disease, and they gave her like a 20% chance of living. She lost kidney function in
Oof.
both kidneys.
What kind of autoimmune disease?
It was they called it oncovasculitis, which was basically a constriction of the blood vessels that eventually like kills the organ. And both of her kidneys went out. And yeah, so I feel like, you know, when she was facing that situation, she didn't have many options, and they were loading her with pharmaceuticals, and you know, we got her some cannabis oil, and she was a medical anomaly. She was able to survive long enough to get a transplant, and now she leads a normal, healthy life.
Wow. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool to like be a personal, like see that in your family, be like, wow, this medicine that saved my sister's life and could save a bunch of other people's lives is illegal, and people don't have access to it.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's I feel that it's a natural progression once people see the science, you know, and it just becomes clear, and like there's the propaganda that was created for such a long time, and the oppression of people that is happening still to this day right now. I mean, it's just people are becoming less tolerant of that fallacy of being like, oh, it's okay to put people in jail because they are healing themselves.
Exactly.
That's.
Well, you're not consuming the you're not they're not making any profit out of it. Or most of these substances that are so demonized are a public domain. Nobody can, how do you say it, when you make something yours, a chemical.
Patent.
Yeah,
Can you patent
you
it?
cannot patent that. You cannot patent nature.
Right.
So they need something that makes profit for these gigantic corporations that are benefiting from the illness of people. Not so much from the well-being of people, the health of people. They're benefiting from pain. They're benefiting from
Right.
Like,
Right.
what?
Monsanto is actually patenting seeds, so to a certain extent, they might be able to
Yeah, but
patent to a
Monsanto
certain
in,
extent.
in a couple countries in Europe is being
Sued.
banned.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you saw like Tesla just
released
released all his patents.
yeah. That was
And
pretty
I
cool.
feel like we're moving in that direction,
Yeah.
like
I
hope
open
so.
source information.
Exactly.
Like allowing people to move across borders, like without having to be persecuted. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, we're moving towards the like free energy, like when we all have access to energy and we're not killing each other overseas over oil and gas. Like there's going to be a change in the socioeconomic political sphere, like the way we interact with each other, the way we make money. It's going to be more of an egalitarian. I feel that's.
I hope so.
That I have an optimistic vision.
I like that.
I feel like that's our duty as visionaries, is to envision, that future, and to help create it.
Yeah.
Instead of like focusing on the problem and not really doing anything about it.
It's hard to it's very hard to be optimistic to me. Now, I'm not saying I'm speaking for everybody. Obviously, everything that I say is I'm talking of myself. I feel like I'm very pessimistic about the future of anything. The way I see the laws in this country, the laws against medicine, plant medicine, the laws against humanity, the laws against freedom, the laws against just thinking in another way, either from the right or from the left. I feel like those laws, the laws of censoring your speech or censoring anything, are detrimental to the way we commune with everybody else, the way we interact with people, the way we interact with ourselves. You cannot just, like you said, you cannot just, if you have deep depression, deep anxiety, or something like that, you cannot just buy some shrooms and do some ceremonies with somebody could guide you, because if you get caught doing that, you go to jail with no questions asked. They will have people breaking in your house, guns pointing at your head, saying that you did something wrong, something illegal, and you only try to heal yourself, fix yourself, because what you are taking or what people are taking is not healing them. It's not doing anything. It's just either make them worse or having them. I don't know. When we go into the data and see that most of the shootings, mass shootings that we have in schools or other places, most of these people are either on SSRIs or withdrawing from SSRIs. And I'm not saying that those antipsychotics make that people go crazy or psychotic, but there should be a correlation to that. When you start looking at the data and see that, I mean, it's kind of obvious that these things are having a negative effect when you stop taking them, or sometimes when you're even on them. When it's been proven in several studies that most of the antipsychotics and all that works as placebo. They have compared placebo effect to the effects of these antipsychotics, and it's the same. I think placebo is even
A little higher.
little higher than these things.
Right, like kids smoking pot aren't shooting up schools.
Exactly. You know, you're not hurting people when you're in shrooms. You know what I mean? When you're in shrooms, you crawl out to a ball and deal with your own shit. You know, if people jump out of a building, it's not the drug that's making you jump out of a building. Is your own fucking shit inside your head that is making you do stupid shit.
That's
You know,
right.
and the irresponsibility from doing these sacred plans in a way where you think you're gonna have fun. These are not plans to have fun with. These are plans to be respected and should be studied and should be taken with respect and some form of, how you say it, ceremony, ceremonially.
Yeah.
They're sacraments. They're not drugs. They're not party drugs. They're sacraments, and they should be treated as such,
Agree.
right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, freedom of spirituality.
Yeah.
You know?
Freedom of religion,
Right.
freedom of believing what you want, and freedom of thinking, taking your own sacraments and healing yourself from the inside out.
Right,
And it's like if we make meditation or breathing exercises illegal. You know what I mean?
That's what's beautiful about that is that I don't think they can, you know. I mean, like they could. I mean, like if it was like some dictatorship, like out of controlness, they're like, you're gonna access a free space if you do this. Like you
Yeah.
can't do
man,
it. But
that's crazy.
but I feel like that, you know, that's what's beautiful about the breath is that you can connect, you know, 100,000, 1,000 people, like, and everyone can have like an amazing psychedelic experience, and it's just air that we're breathing. You
Yeah.
know, like so
Oxygen.
it's just oxygen, and that's powerful.
The way you can access your endocrine system by just breathing.
Right.
The way you can heal your own self. The way you can you know, uphold crazy temperatures, either hot or cold.
Yeah.
The way you can boost your immune system to 30-some%. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Just by breathing, just by chanting, just by sitting down and let your thoughts go crazy. Pay attention to them. Do not engage. Do not attach to them. Let them go.
It's beautiful, bro.
Feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just breathe. Take it easy, bro.
It's amazing how many people like don't know how to breathe, you know, and but it's so easy, you know. I mean, all it takes is just for you to sit down for 5 minutes and just take deep breaths, you know. And I feel like those 5 minutes definitely benefit you so much. I mean, I've been doing breathing work as well, and it has benefited me, you know. I haven't gotten sick in over. How long have we been doing the podcast? 3, 4 years? 3 years, right?
2 years.
2 years.
Do the
I have-
podcast now, but we've been hanging out for
yeah,
3 years.
3 years. So
Yeah.
yeah, like about 3 years, you know, and I feel great now. I go out to the cold weather without a shirt. I feel fine.
It's just cold,
It's just
man.
cold, man. You just embrace it, you know, and that's it. And I don't know. I feel like definitely there's a cure there, you know. I mean, a lot of people don't see it,
Right,
don't
right.
don't see it as a cure because we're so used to having like the preconceived notion that medicine has to be on a bottle and pill, or it has to be given by a doctor or a pharmacist or something like that. But when you tell people, hey, just breathe, you know, learn how to breathe, they just give you a weird look, you know, and they don't really take you seriously unless you start like actually
Explain them.
explaining them the science behind how does it work,
Right.
or giving them like credible sources.
Or they get offended. I know how to breathe, motherfucker. What are you talking about?
Right. I mean, you can associate like anger and anxiety with like shallow breaths. Like
Exactly.
Mhm.
you know, like if you feel yourself like breathing like really shallowy, you'll check in with your head and you're like, I'm either anxious or angry, or you know what I'm saying. And when you're breathing you're breathing deeply, you find like a sense of like of peace and calmness.
Your thoughts kind of calm down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut
I mean,
down a little bit. For
Right.
that 1 second,
They do.
and your thoughts calm down.
right.
You're having a bad day. In a lot of Eastern traditions, whenever the wind is blowing, people stop doing whatever they're doing. They're working on the fields or anywhere.
Right.
If they feel a breeze of air coming, they just stop whatever they're doing and take a deep breath and they continue their work. And it's people who are very hypnotized by the Western ideology of what your body is or the science behind your own chemistry, your own big chemistry. I feel they went to a very narrow-minded view of how your body actually works and how you connect with the rest of nature. We came to a place in our evolution of humans where we thought of ourselves as separate from nature and feel that that is a mistake we have made and still making when we said it's just a jungle, man. We can fucking build a shopping center here. Just a jungle. Fuck. We should get the oil in the jungle. The
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about? What do you mean it's just a jungle? The fuck are you talking about? What makes you feel superior to where you come from? From where the lungs of the air that you breathe in is blowing from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You attach these ideas of profit as bettering yourself. And we can say that that is important, of course, but it's not as important as staying alive. That is a very short-minded view to say, I want to get rich right now. Doesn't matter. We destroy our environment, our jungles, our forests. As long as I make money, fuck that.
Right, like versus the seven generation, outlook where you do whatever action you take, it's gonna affect the next seven generations. So
Exactly.
you look at a more long term view versus like take whatever you can and not really worry about the generations to come.
To come.
So-
Narrow-mindedness. So there we have these friends that we love to death, and they are in this holistic, I guess if you want to say it, path to understand their own self and their own life, and they get seduced by the mysticism of the East, and they believe that that is the right path. I'm not saying it's not, of course it is, but to say this is the only path to achieve awareness of yourself and your surroundings. To say that only Buddhism or only Hinduism or only these Eastern philosophies are the right way to achieve that, I feel like it's also narrow-mindedness. We get to a point where we meet people and talk to people, and you tell them what you told us about the ceremonies with the psychedelics, with peyote, with psilocybin, with the ayahuasca, with whatever, and they see that as cheating. Oh, you're cheating. You're doing psychedelics. You're infecting your mind with chemicals. You're taking shortcuts. That is not the right way to do it. Because the Upanishads, or because Buddha said it, or because whatever sacred book from the East said that you have to have a clear and pure mind. And when we get to the point where we completely ignore the rest of the world and the rest of the mystics, I feel that is also going into this. A lot of from my friends say I'm woke and because I follow Buddhism or because I'm Hindu or because I pray to Krishna or whatever, and then therefore I'm woke. No, you're not woke. You just fell into another dream, which is Hinduism, which is Buddhism, which is Christianity. You're dreaming that. You're not woke. You change dreams. And taking that and say that that's the right way, I feel that you're missing the whole point.
Right. Yeah. Like feeling like being too dogmatic about any, I guess, religion in a way can, I guess, shy away or close you off from the other wisdom that's available on the planet.
Exactly.
So yeah, I feel like every culture has a different virtue, that has. It's like wisdom schools
Yeah.
on different continents.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
this esoteric knowledge.
Right.
You all
yeah.
have this a form of esoteric knowledge.
Yeah, so there's definitely like esoteric spiritual knowledge on each continent.
But that's not the answer either.
It's not, but it's like a way to like they're different. It's like going to different universities or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but we as humans we do that. If somebody goes to I don't know, Duke or UNC Chapel Hill, wherever.
Right.
Oh, I'm from Duke. Fuck you, Chapel Hill. You know, I mean, but we're still tribalistic, tribal people. You know,
Right.
we form a little tribes, and we against it's me against the other. Even it's the spiritual realm.
Yeah,
I am from the Hare Krishnas, or I am Hindu, and anything you do, anything you say, or if you contradict my beliefs, you're wrong because this is the right way to live your life. How do you know, bro?
Well, I mean, I feel like just understanding just unity and oneness.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that, the divine unity and oneness, and being able to like, I guess, understand that all these these are all facets of oneness
Mhm.
and unity and the expression of the divine.
They
Yeah.
do express the truth.
Right.
I'm not saying that they're
So
not true.
they're different expressions.
Expression of the truth.
So I mean, I feel like it's just like it's like different flavors of the sacred. Like none of them are. It doesn't. I feel like they all have truths. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, of course.
And they're all valid, but to say that this is the only one
right.
is missing the whole point.
For sure. For sure.
And I had somebody that I talked to a long time ago, and one of these ceremonies that I went to, and that person went to observe the ceremony, and he said that Hinduism doesn't allow you to do any kind of psychedelics because that is cheating. Like I was telling you, and I just read the Bhagavad Gita,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, but Krishna said that he's Soma, from whatever those who drink Soma would know me,
Right.
and Soma was psychedelic, similar to LSD.
Right.
So what are you talking about? They were high as shit. Read the Bhagavad Gita. That's clearly a psychedelic experience this guy had when Krishna stuff. That's a psychedelic. That's what you see when you're on DMT or LSD. That's it. I mean, yeah, but to say that they don't use that or never use that is
Yeah.
silly and not true because the own sacred book says it.
That's true. I mean, I'm not from that religion or anything, but I mean, it clearly says it, and I mean, but I haven't really heard anyone like justify or anything or actually mention it. So I'm like, okay, well,
It's like the
there it is.
Christians. It's like the Christians said.
And not just like Hare Krishnas. I mean, even like Christianity used
That's what I'm saying.
psilocybin mushrooms back in the day, and the Greeks used
Ergot,
psychedelics as well. Yeah,
the thing
ergot
from ergot. Yeah.
from like LSD. So I mean, to a certain extent, like I feel like every religion, like I don't know, my point of view, is that before the books came, they were definitely on some sort of plant, and they were having access to this
Bank of knowledge.
bank of knowledge, so they decided to write it. Trust me, because the first thing when when I go through my journeys and everything, and I usually have a friend or something that he wants to do anything, like explore his consciousness or like see what's going on. The first thing everybody asks me, hey, can I write something? And that's the first thing that everybody wants to do. Can I write something or can I record myself? It's like we have this sudden urge to like get all this knowledge out and put it right here
Right.
where it matters.
Or paint something.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so I mean, it's amazing, like it's just our nature to just like express ourselves and just being able to put all this knowledge or love or whatever you want to call it, like these realizations somewhere where we can actually make use of them, and I feel like everybody has been doing that in ever since humanity started. In caves,
In caves. Yeah.
in books, in pyramids.
Yeah, totally. Terrence McKenna's stone date theory. That was,
It might not be
Paul,
right, but
Paul Stamets
Yeah.
piggybacked on it. He's like the
Yeah.
guru of mushrooms.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I mean, he alluded to the idea that the frontal cortex was, developed through uh,
The
the
use of psilocybin.
the use of psilocybin for thousands of generations, who like created our you know language,
Vision, the word of
yeah.
vision evolved. That's why I read something. I don't know if it's right. I don't know from who. I'm sorry, my
You're
data.
butchering it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
they said that the problem why we are all going, our vision is going to shit, is one because of all the things we have so close to our mind. We don't exercise our vision anymore like we used to. But the second one is because we took up psilocybin mushrooms out of our diet,
Mm.
and I don't know if it's true. Somebody should look into it. But all these things and all these theories that we have about all these taboo plans, taboo conversations, we should stop they should stop being taboo, and we should stop actually looking into these things and stop listening to these old dum-dums that are empowered to tell us how you should live your life, to tell you how you should behave, what you put in your body. What makes anybody think that they can tell you what to do, what to eat, what to put in your body, how to tamper with your own consciousness? You're a grown fucking man. You're not a child. You should be allowed to do and tamper with your mind as much as you want. But alcohol is legal, and it fucks with your mind bad. When you get drunk, your inhibition goes down, and you do stupid shit. I've done it, you know. When you smoke tobacco, if you smoke enough tobacco, your own personality starts to change, and you start behaving in yeah, I don't know how to say this.
You just become addicted to this
Not just
substance.
addicted, but you become reactive to
No,
other people.
no, not just that. I mean, the addiction itself. When you lack tobacco, it makes you aggressive. It makes you like, it gets you in a bad mood. And I work in the manufacturing field for a very, very long time, and like it's rough. I mean, everybody just works nonstop. They take a break. The first thing to do is like pop a cigarette. But when they don't have one, man, like they really, really, really
Getting
get angry, super angry, and like they stay angry for the whole shift, and that worries me, man.
How about with coffee?
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
drinks. How
Coffee.
about sugar?
Oh my God.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Sugar
sugar's a
itself,
drug.
the most dangerous one, if you ask me.
You
But
know, and it's perfectly legal. Kids
yeah.
eat it.
Oh yeah. I guess because it's not psychoactive.
How about chocolate? It's also a
Yeah.
drug. It's just not. It's psychoactive.
I think the sugar is the actual thing with chocolate that makes it
But
bad.
I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
well, because of the legality of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like raw cacao can definitely be like like emotionally activating, so people can have emotional releases during an experience. And
so what is the feeling of like consuming cacao in a ceremony, like what how does one person feel, like physically and mentally, what do they go through, like, but especially yourself, because I know like you have done it, right?
yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like it's different for everyone, but for me, it's just like it heightens my senses and makes me more open to experiencing emotion. Um, and also I feel like you know, more intuitive at a certain
Mhm.
level. Like when I'm playing my instruments, I just feel a little bit more like activated,
Inspired.
aware. I
How-
feel like just like a awareness. So it just makes you more aware of things around you. It's like it's a stimulant, so like wakes you up a little bit more.
Mhm.
Um,
You say, like, compared to, like, I don't know, I guess cannabis, you say, like, what would be the difference?
between cannabis.
Yeah.
Um, well, cannabis is way more like psychoactive. I feel like,
Okay, okay.
yeah, than raw cacao. And just it's cacao just works in like a more subtle way. Like you'll just find yourself. You're like, oh wow, I'm getting like emotional, and like, oh yeah, I just took
Mm.
cacao. Like, it's like, um, it's more of like a subtle
Oh, okay, okay. That's
versus
pretty
like
cool.
versus like like you take a rip of from a pipe or something, and you're like immediately
You're like,
immediately
bro,
high. Exactly.
I'm
Like,
lit. I'm lit, bro.
right. Like cacao takes like it'll take like 15-20 minutes, and like it's more of like a progressive wave.
What about the
The hape.
yeah, happy.
The hape, it's it clears mental chatter, so you'll find like people, like I find when I like when I receive it, it'll immediately just go into like the sensation, and like all the mental chatter will just silence.
Silence. Boom.
And then in those moments, I find myself like being in gratitude and thanking Creator for my life and my family. And,
Yeah.
Grateful.
yeah, just being in gratitude, and then and within that I might get a message or a vision from Spirit,
Whoa.
and that'll be something about what's currently going on in my life, or it'll be like an image or a geometry or that's like more of like a metaphorical symbol.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
That I'm like basically just interpret, like trying to understand what was Spirit telling me,
How long does it usually last?
It lasts like 15-20 minutes. You'll feel like that relaxation maybe for another like 15-20 after like the initial, but like the experience is maybe 15-20, and then the after effects you can feel like for 45 minutes, I guess.
I'm guessing well, you were saying that you also did sound therapy. What are the effects when you do sound therapy?
Yeah, so with hape mixes paired with sound therapy is really powerful because the recipient becomes really susceptible to the sounds, and just it enhances the sounds and creates a profound experience. It just takes it up a couple notches than just regular sound by itself, and I feel it becomes more shamanic. Like it becomes like a shamanic journey. People like see colors and geometries, and will get information downloads, and like like a grandmother might come to them, or they might see like I've heard people see like jaguars and hawks, and like purple lights and golden lights and geometries. And this is just like tobacco, which is it's beautiful how when you put intention into it and use it in a ceremonial setting, it becomes a whole nother experience. So yeah, I really like to work with the hape with people who are open with it.
Hape is it legal?
Yeah, it's legal.
Okay.
Hape is legal, so that's cool too. That it's a legal medicine, and
You prepare yourself?
yeah, I mean, like when people come, we'll do like a traditional private sound healing. We'll come in and we'll talk for 15-20 minutes and drink some tea and see like what the intention is that you want to set for the journey. And then I have a massage table and someone lays on, and then I have all my ceremonial instruments, and I'll do like an hour and a half of playing didgeridoo, flute, crystal bowls, shakers, jaw harp.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Do throat singing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I can show you guys.
Sure, man.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, bro.
That was powerful,
Damn,
man.
that's awesome, dude. Whoa.
Oh man, that was awesome, dude.
Now I want to learn that, man. That's pretty dope.
That was amazing, man.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that,
Wow.
dude.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
I felt that, dude.
Yeah, I felt that too,
feel
man.
that
I
shit.
felt that. I was like,
I
whoa.
feel. I'm not being weird, but I feel this heat rising up to my ears and my eyes, dude.
I was like, I just felt it right here, like you were like vibrating, dude. I was like, whoa, what the
I
hell?
like that, dude. I like that, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, I really like the primordial, like guttural sounds.
Yeah.
This jaw harp too, really. Here, if you wanna, does that.
Oh man,
That is dope, man.
he's like blowing
You're
my
dope,
mind.
man. You're
Yeah.
blowing my mind, man.
Yeah,
Never had
man.
such an interesting person here,
Yeah,
man.
and I feel we have interesting persons, but
I
I
mean,
mean,
not
it's
like
like
this way.
it's not like this way. You know, it's very I don't know. You know, I feel like I don't know, man. You know, like I guess because you know it's like sort of like my roots. You know, like you know when I went to Mexico. You know, I went to Mexico 2 years ago, and for the first time in 15 years, and you know I went to look at the museums, the pyramids, like all the pre-Hispanic monuments and stuff, and I was just amazed, you know, and the way you play the flute, man, the things that you do, the way you carry yourself is just like very earthy, you know, very I don't know, man, it's very down to earth, very grounded, you know, and I really like that. I like that stuff because it calls me as well, you know. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm a big fan, not a big fan, but I'm to a certain extent a practitioner of plant medicine, and I really want to explore that area a little bit more, you know, and I feel like it's very beneficial to people because it has helped me a lot, you know, it has helped me a lot, and I have I have gotten some beautiful messages, you know, and I practice those messages every day, and you know, I feel like it's a blessing, you know, and it's a blessing to have you here, man, you know, and talk to you and show us all these cool things, man, you know. I mean, I feel like it's beautiful, man. What you're doing, what you're actually engaging with, just like exploring yourself and helping others, like help themselves. You know, I feel like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm super grateful for y'all having me here and being able to share my story. Um, yeah, and being able to do this work, it's a blessing and it's been a calling. And I, when I was in university, I was trying to figure out, I was like, what am I gonna do? And when I get out of school, and then I went
Yeah.
to grad school to buy some more time.
Yeah.
And
But more time.
Yeah.
yeah, right. I actually paid for more time.
Yeah.
And then and then I went to Alex Gray's house on 2012. And I was
Oh, Alex Gray,
Alex
amazing
and
artist.
Yeah. I was hanging out up there, and I took a spiritual dose during one of his gatherings, and it definitely it changed my life. That one, I mean, I've had a lot of experiences, but that one was definitely a pivotal time because I remember when I came back, I was like, this grad school thing is not for me. Like, I'm like coughing out.
I'm out.
When I told my professors, I was like, I'm out, guys. Like, it was really good. I had like straight A's. I was like really like front and center, but then like I was like, I don't know what I'm doing over here. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah, it was a blessing to have that epiphany to be like, I want to live my life in a way where I'm doing, personal exploration and being of service and doing whatever it takes to figure out what that looks like.
That's a beautiful thing to say, being on service, being at the service of humanity, being on the service of achieving a mental state where you are at peace with yourself and who you are. Finding out who you are, basically. Finding out the true you, the true meaning of being alive. And a lot of people confuse that with making money. And making money is amazing, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against the way I have questions for the way we set up our economy and our social structure. But I'm convinced now, maybe I'm wrong, that making money is not it. Making profit is not it. What fulfills you, what makes you feel happy, what makes you dig deep inside you and come up with your own answers about how to live your own life. I feel like that is, I might be wrong, but that might be the point. That might be how we supposed to be live our life, and how you interact with people around you, the love that you're giving out, the love that radiates from people when they find that they have the medicine on them, they have the cure on them,
Exactly.
they are the cure.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So I read something that said that we are not dependent nature. We are nature dependent itself in a way where we are part of that. We are part of something bigger. We're looking for this, we're looking for this thing that is bigger than us to believe in. Like religion, political structures, teams, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to put your team in. We're looking to be validated and being part of something bigger than yourself. And you are part of something. You already are. There's no point. I mean, I guess it is, but there's, don't look for something to be part of. You are already part of this beautiful, magnificent universe. You are an organ of nature. You are an organ of earth. You are, in fact, part of something bigger. And we think we are neglecting that and thinking that something else is going to be it, be the big thing. You're going to make it, make money. You're going to find God. You're going to find Jesus. Jesus never went anywhere. Jesus always been here with you. You know what I mean? Buddha didn't go anywhere. There's no way. You never went anywhere. You don't need to find yourself. You've been with yourself your whole life. You need to remember that. You need to come in contact with that. And that is peaceful. That is peaceful. That is a way, maybe a better way, maybe not. Maybe I'm full of shit. To live a more peaceful, a more grateful life. If you are expending all your energy into putting more hours into your job, more money to make that dough, I guess that is part of life too. You have to pay a bill, you have to do all these things. But there's no need to put any more emphasis and to make more or to achieve more than we already are. You are it. Some philosopher said, you're it. Stop looking for it. You are it. Just look inside and you will find it. You'll find yourself. You'll find God. You know, in a way, you are the extension of the divine, experiencing itself from many points of view. And many people said, oh, that's a hippie talk. That is not sustainable. That is not reality. Then what is reality? If that's not reality, if your own perception of how you interact with people is not reality, then what is reality? What people tell me? What the government says? What the law says? What the opinion of others says? No, that's not reality. People tell me a lot. Live in reality, man. Stop thinking that. Imagine what? I thought we were living in reality. If you said imagine if, that's not true. That is a fantasy you're living. I don't know if I might be full of shit, man. I think I'm full of shit most of the time.
No, I mean, yeah, like, you know, living a, I mean, in order for you to be like extremely successful in the system, you have to be like kind of slightly sociopathic.
You have to be sharp, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, slightly like you know, you're you know, self-serving, profit maximizing, like
Ruthless.
competitive, ruthless cold force to like get to the top of the tower. You guys.
Yeah.
And that's cool because also that is also part of life and also part of nature. Hierarchies are part of nature. Look around you. Everything has hierarchies. Nature has hierarchies built into itself. But don't think that being at the top of the hierarchy is to neglect nature or thinking that something that is not something that you don't feel inside you that is the answer, something that is opinions about things, our indoctrination of how we should live our life. That is are part of reality. That we, yeah, if you want to engage on that, go ahead. But to be fanatic about that, that is missing the whole point, man. That is missing the whole point of being a human being. When we said that our nature is to be competitive, I mean, I don't know, might be,
Or
but
I think our nature might be to be cooperative.
that's what I want to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Cooperation is our
That's something
nature.
that's been kind of sold to us that
Yeah.
you know that our nature is to be competitive and selfish.
Sometimes I listen to these podcasters, and I like some of them, and I have nothing to say about them, but they also said, I think Joe Rogan said this a lot, that the nature of humanity is to be competitive. I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like our nature is being more is about being cooperative and cooperating with each other. Look around you. If that wasn't our nature, we wouldn't build what we built. I mean, not me, but we as humanity, we wouldn't have technology. If people don't cooperate with themselves, things don't happen in just one people's mind. Everything that we have is a accumulation of different minds putting giving us this.
Right. I mean, I think they're both examples in nature. Like you can see the parasite. You know, that's obvious in nature, and that's a parasitic. You know, like we have a parasitic relationship with nature right now. Like we're like hosts. We're just extracting resources. But you know, there's that symbiotic relationship you can create in nature where like you know you see organisms interacting
With each other.
to help each other
Yeah.
out, and it's in their nature.
It's fine, man. I will take that in a minute.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think you know our job is to evolve, you know, past that, you know, like because like a parasitic relationship seems more like primordial in a way, and then like you know as you know mammals seem to have more symbiotic relationships. Well, I don't know. That's a generalization. I'm not a biologist, so I have no clue.
Me neither, dude. I'm just talking out of my ass.
But I definitely think like I definitely think there is a possibility for us to create a symbiotic relationship with the planet and with each other, and to create communities that you know that help the planet flourish, and like to have like you know Eden, you know, like create gardens in our deserts, and like in our waterways be purified. Like you know there's technology that is available that just isn't being funded to clean the waters, and to have you know solar energy, and to plant you know forests in areas that are deforested or areas that are having you know extreme erosion. So I definitely or cleaning up all the trash in the ocean. Like,
Exactly that.
you know, I feel like there's the technologies and people are waking up to like, oh, this is a good idea, and you know, it doesn't benefit us to have you know a couple people have extravagant lives on the planet for us to you know for the whole place to be trashed.
Exactly. It's like you shitting in your living room. You know, taking that shit in the middle of your living room.
Yeah.
Who will do that? Yeah. I mean,
Right. So exactly. So like I feel like we're becoming aware of this as a global community, and it's taken you know it's taken time and you know a lot of suffering and a lot of planetary destruction.
Yeah, change is slow,
for
man.
for us to figure this out. But I feel like we're gonna get there. You know, like I feel like there's a trajectory going in that direction, and there's you know communities that you know little villages that are popping up that you know are permaculture, sustainable, off the grid communities that are models for what this looks like, and it's just you know I guess getting the mainstream on board, or maybe not, maybe just not, you know, like I feel like sometimes like that you know that massive corporate structure you know might not be the answer. Maybe having like a bunch of like the global village idea, I really resonate with that, and having you know a bunch of you know
permaculture communities.
yeah, and also like a bunch of you know I feel like concentrating the power in like in a resource extractive way just creates like an imbalance extraction on the planet. So like when one company provides a product for the entire planet, it like you know like versus like all these villages around the world being able to, you know, make different artisanal products, you know.
But the I think feel like the pushback on that is saying that there's no progress if we do that. That you remove the willingness to create progress.
Well, I mean, if there's open source information and access to technology, you know, access to information and technology, like if we all have access to build whatever we want, you know, I feel, and we're given the resources that in our communities because we realize that'll benefit the rest of the community. Like it just becomes this like, you know, a community that allows you, like when you come in, you're born with these, this is like my, I guess, visualization of an idealistic community. You're born into a community, and then the community allows you to discover your gifts. So it caters to like, okay, this kid is naturally good at math or art or whatever that is, and it allows you, and it caters
To your needs.
to your needs and your gifts
Talents, yeah.
and your talents, so that you can be of service to that community.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, we kind of like had, you know, a system where
Hijacked.
yeah, it doesn't really like help kids develop their gifts, you know.
Of course not.
It only it's
They want to make you a drone.
right, or it only values a certain type of like mind, you know, like the
Whatever's gonna help this monster that we have created, a beautiful monster that is society. Whatever it helps to move it forward to stay alive.
It's a big machine, brother.
It's an organism of itself.
Yeah.
It's trying to stay alive for as long
Yeah.
as it can. We create this organism. You know,
Yeah, we do.
It's the dream of society.
right, and I feel like creating harmony with technology and nature, like what does that look like?
Yeah.
You know, what does it look like to integrate nature and technology, and you know, have them create a symbiotic relationship where, you know, you have free energy and access to all this information, but you're also in this botanical garden
Exactly.
Yeah.
with, you know, all kinds of biodiversity, birds and frogs and lizards, because we're realizing that.
We're not making money out of that, man. What would we need that? You know.
Yeah, but we're realizing that diversity is what makes us
I
happy.
know, I know,
Nature is
I
what
know.
gives us balance.
Exactly.
And you know, like creating, like we've gone so far to that technology spectrum where we're like, you know, created like a domesticated like lifestyle where we can't, like people can't even go out into nature anymore because they like feel threatened, or like their body,
Yeah, they feel uncomfortable, bro.
their body freaks out.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like they've been like you know, they've been in AC too long, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
they get sunburn really quick and all that.
Right,
yeah.
nature just like hammers it, and it's just because they've been like living this like sheltered lifestyle their entire life, so they're not used to like experiencing elements.
Yeah, it's sad, man, when that day comes, you know, and someone that has been quote unquote sheltered all their lives, and something goes wrong, and there's nobody there to, like, you know, help you. No phone, no nothing. I mean, I'm not saying I can survive in those situations, but I mean, to a certain extent, you know, there's people that are completely sheltered, and they don't have an idea what to do. You know, how to get to a certain place. You know, how to identify a plant. You know, how to identify
Food.
food. How to hear for water. You know.
How to smell for
Yeah,
water.
exactly.
Well,
How
our
to-
senses are becoming numb. You don't. Our sense of smelling just got shitty as fuck. You know, our sense of resistance to pollen got shitty as fuck.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of people that are allergic to pollen. You know, like the.
Which I'm not offending anybody
the,
who's allergic to pollen. I understand you're allergic to pollen. You know.
Yeah,
just-
but I mean, it just happens the way the society is structured. You know, you get less exposed to like nature. You're like go from from home to work, home to work,
to your
home to
cubicle,
work,
to
and
your
that's
air
it.
conditioning.
So, to a certain extent, yeah, it makes sense that you're gonna be allergic to a lot of things. You know, and it happens, man.
It happens. I understand that it happens, and that is also part of nature, man. You know, somebody told me once that when you are one of the oldest things in the planet, you get to comment everybody
Yeah.
or twice a year. Trees, the pollen. Yeah, it's like my jeez.
Here's my seed.
Here's my seed. Breathe it in.
Man.
No, but that is a symptom of a broken system, a broken society. When we start neglecting our what we are, which is nature, and we start separating yourself from nature.
Right, did you hear about that? There's some development supposed to go on in the Haw River. They're gonna
No.
they're gonna clear like a couple hundred acres.
Oh,
like,
really?
Next to the river, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like in between here and Chapel Hill or something.
Nice.
Yeah, they want to clean it up, right? That's what you said?
No, they're gonna like
Cut them. The trees.
Oh, cut.
And they're
Oh,
gonna cut, and I think
shit.
they're gonna only leave like 10% of the trees.
What?
Yeah, right next to the river.
Oh my god.
How's
That's-
that smart?
Develop it.
That so we have like housing development or something
Yeah,
or
something like that.
oh my
Jesus
god,
Christ.
that's so fucking sad, brother.
Yeah.
Like that makes me very sad, man.
Yeah, man, you can see all those areas though, like even like in Mebane, you know, like over here, they torn down like a bunch of trees.
When they made that new
bunch-
mall, all
Yeah.
that was forest.
all that was forest, and even like if you go farther east, Apex, you know, like that place is booming, but I mean, it's just like whole bunch of houses, you know, they all look the same, like all suburbs, and you can see everything being like.
Because that's the dream that you're
Demolished.
being indoctrinated to.
I'm like,
to
my
do.
God, this is. I just see it and it just makes me sad, man. You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah,
What-
North Carolina is just a really beautiful state.
It
Like,
is.
It's
Yeah.
got, a lot of like forests and woods and
Yeah.
mountains and beaches, and just like they're letting Duke just like
Yes.
pour like coal ash in the rivers and not making people accountable for it. And I mean, just the hog waste down in the down.
Yeah, all the
by
hot
coast.
farms, dude. The hot farms are awful,
Yeah,
dude.
and then in Wilmington they had like Gen X, like they were allowing this company to leach the Gen X into the water supply.
I heard something like that.
Yeah, and it was giving little kids blood cancer.
Oh my, blood cancer.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Hey man, it's for the progress of society, man. You know.
Hey, you gotta make sacrifices, bro.
You gotta make that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, so, and it's still like it's a Flint, Michigan issue, but in Wilmington, like, and nobody really knows. I mean, no one. It's really
It's
hush
hush-hush,
hush. It's
yeah.
hush hush here. Like everyone's like doing business here. Like,
Of course.
and North Carolina is like, I mean, the nature is suffering. I feel like North Carolina, in the last like, 10, 20 years, like it used to be like this epic forest land, and like it's turning into like, like the forests are getting sick, and like the rivers and.
Yeah, I see that a lot. Even like you go to these places like Drum, probably Chapel Hill. I mean, they're all growing and stuff, but now these forests are like literally just like little patches where you can just walk maybe 1 or 2 miles, and yeah, you see trees, but it's just a little patch. Then after that, it's just like roads
Highways.
everywhere, highways
Houses.
everywhere, houses everywhere.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's how it's becoming to be. There's just gonna be like little safe spaces for like maybe
Hippies.
2-3 acres of land, and you call that a forest.
It's not
You know?
a forest. It's a fucking
Exactly,
backyard.
it's not. But they would call it that. They would call it a park, state park, or something.
Right.
I
It's
went
crazy.
to the. Okay, man. what's
Yeah,
up?
North Carolina used to just like pride itself in its nature.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
that's why everyone moved here, or were
Yeah,
moving here,
yeah.
was because it had so much beautiful nature available, like hiking and everything. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the development's definitely going out of control here.
Yeah, it's just saturated. It's completely saturated.
I went to Grandfather Mountain once with this beautiful person. She was a beautiful being, and we were hiking and just talking and moving, and we found this beautiful place. Well, I don't think you were allowed to go there, but we went anyways. It was at the edge of a mountain, and you can see the river and the trees around it. It was like a waterfall. And you can see everything from there. It was beautiful. That place where I was sitting was beautiful. I meditated there for a minute. And then she said, I can see now why the natives fought so hard to keep their land, or to just to keep being, or keep their lifestyle. Look at this shit. It's gorgeous. I would fought to the death for this, to keep this as it is, At the moment I was like, just a fucking forest,
Yeah.
But now I see it. Now I see where she was coming from. When I go hiking and I looked around, And I was like, fuck, this is beautiful, man. Why would anybody want to destroy this? Or why would anybody want to build a shopping center here? The idea of progress by building shit, destroying nature, has infected our minds and the way we see everything. I just sometimes that's what I'm pessimistic. Sometimes I see that and I'm like, we're not gonna change shit.
Right, shopping centers aren't really like a place for community. Like, people just go there to like buy products and
Yeah,
like and
consume
get out
it.
and consume, but it's not a place where you can actually go and like meet people and like have a meaningful connection. Like,
Exactly.
um, and I feel like that's what we want. We want to be able to have meaningful relationships with people. We want to be intimate.
Mhm.
We want physical touch.
Yes.
We want to be able to dance and like express ourselves, like our deepest desires to each other and our gifts.
Mhm.
Whatever that is, if it's writing or painting or playing music or dancing. I feel like that those are the virtues of expression that have been given to us, and that's our job to discover them and then and share them.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, man, I don't know. I'm just thinking. It's got me thinking about the future.
You blow your mind?
Yeah, but at the
You
same
blew our
time,
mind, man.
yeah, you blew our mind, dude. I have to say that you blew our mind. Like I wasn't expecting such a talented person today, to be honest. But I feel like sometimes I just don't expect anything. I'm just like I just drop everything. I'm like whatever comes comes, and I don't know. It's just been an amazing podcast.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you cutting it off?
No, no.
Oh,
I'm
that
just. I'm
sounds
just.
like you were
No,
about
no,
to leave or
no,
something.
no, 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 not at all, not at all. I was just like thinking, but I mean, I have a question though. Um, you said you're very optimistic about the future, about like progress, and yet we see all this
Destruction.
destruction. I'm sure it's part of the process, of the evolution of humanity, of just mother nature itself. But you don't have to like give. I mean, just give me your what you feel in your heart. I mean, how long do we actually have to actually have that utopian way of living? If you had to like say something,
Like, how long do we have till it happens?
yeah, till it happens, till we can say like, okay, we can all coexist. Like we can actually respect Mother Nature as like
Source of life.
Yeah,
Well,
as a source of
I
life.
feel like it starts with us, like,
Yeah, of course.
and I feel like there's little communities that are
Mhm.
living that way, and time's it's an interesting thing. I
Time is not real, man.
Right. Exactly. I feel like the time is now. Like, let's do it now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're,
Yeah.
we're doing our best, the best we can. I believe that we're doing the best we can. Go ahead.
In your opinion, what will be the steps, the first steps that we should take to achieve some kind of utopia society? In your mind, it doesn't have. We can speculate and imagine things.
Okay. I think it would be cool if we like all took like 3 deep breaths together, like as a planet. Like that would be,
Mm.
like if we all like checked in with our breath and we all like just breathed together. Like everyone just stopped what they were doing and just like breathe together.
Let's do it. 3 breaths.
AI, bro. Once AI comes out, we're gonna be synchronized, brother.
When AI comes up, we're all gonna be dead.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
I'm not optimistic about AI.
Like breathe or you'll be terminated.
You know what this brings to mind? The fact that we wanna colonize other planets, and sometimes when I'm very fan of technology, and I was all into like just colonize Mars and shit like that, and then I thought about it in one of these sessions, shamanistic sessions, and then this thing told me, fix your fucking house first. What do you wanna move out if you haven't fixed your fucking house first? Fix what you have, clean up your shit, and then you can move out. What are we thinking of colonizing the mother shit and at the same time fucking up this planet? Why don't we put all those resources into exploring our own planet and fix what we fucked up? In 80 years that we have of nuclear power, we already have fucked up like 3 places forever, or more. I don't know. Chernobyl, Fukushima. What's the name?
Yeah,
Fukushima, and I don't remember the other two, but there's a few places that in 80 years since the invention of the split of the atom, we fucked up a few places forever, for thousands of fucking years.
Hmm.
Yeah, like some of those Pacific islands. They
How's
just,
that
like,
profit?
bombed. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
All the fucking nuclear waste that we put in inside, just digging holes and putting. That's something that I'm like, how is that smart, dude? We have all these fucking scientists building all this shit, splitting the atom and making these fantastic instruments and whatever. And our solution for it is just to fucking dig a hole and put it in there.
Yeah,
What the
man.
fuck?
It's crazy. Wow.
That's the solution. You heard that place in Arizona or something in the
Yeah,
desert?
I mean they haven't really figured out a way to break down radioactive waste, so the only way to like deal with it is store it and bury it.
Shoot it to the fucking sun.
Or at least that's what. Yeah, I mean like that's. Yeah, exactly. Like get it off.
You want fucking you want to move out of the planet? Why don't you just move the fucking trash out the planet? Maybe I mean I don't know, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that could affect.
I know, I mean neither, right? I'm
Sending
just
trash to the sun.
I'm so fucking ignorant about that, but that's my stupid solution. Because if you think about it, man, the size of the sun. I mean, have you seen these videos of humongous?
How big the sun is.
Yeah, but you see these humongous, like these rogue planets that just dive into the sun, and the sun is like bloop, nothing. What would a fucking comet, not comet, a little fucking rocket with all our nuclear waste, what would it do to the sun? Nothing.
I
It
don't
would, like,
think it'd be close to it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
They probably just
Like
incinerate.
disintegrate before like it disintegrate like maybe like 2 billion miles before it actually touches the sun. You
yeah.
know?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fucking
I
physicist
don't
nor a
know.
chemist.
Either.
I don't know shit about that, but that's my stupid fix solution.
Yeah.
Dig all that shit up, put in a fucking rocket, shoot it to the sun, bro. That's it.
Hey man, I think
Send
you I think you should work for NASA, bro.
Send it, or send it to fucking Mars. Nobody lives there. Who gives a fuck? The fucking planet is dead, man. To try to bring it back to life, who fuck make that a fucking dumpster? No, I don't
Yeah,
know,
man,
man.
I don't know, man, but whatever happens, happens, bro.
Whatever happens, happens. Man, you're it's cool, man. The way you appreciate life, and the way you appreciate music, and the way you are giving out these beautiful, how do you say it, message to people is cool. And the way you're doing it, man, is even cooler. Dude.
You know, I feel like we kind of like, I mean, we kind of vibe with him because we kind of do the same thing to a certain extent.
You
You
do,
know?
I don't.
Yeah.
I
I don't give
mean,
a fuck.
like we have a, like we have a lot of like, we have a podcast, and then we also like do training sessions and things like that. But we just do them because we don't want to profit from them, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, we just want to help people, and if they're willing to give something, they give something.
Right.
Simple as
Or
that.
donation based.
Yeah, donation, that's what we
we're,
do too.
we're all donation based, and
Yeah.
like we provide information, we provide our skills. Even so, when we do events, we have like a poetry slam event coming.
You're
like,
welcome to come.
Oh yeah, by the
Okay.
way, we're gonna have poetry slam event on March 29 and 30, and there's gonna be
Hosted by kind of culture.
yeah, hosted by us, and it's all gonna be donation based, pretty
Cool.
much. So I mean, anyone is welcome to join and sign up whether you want to play an instrument, whether you want to say a poem, whether you want to like I don't know, say a
Express
beautiful
yourself.
message, express yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, so that's why we're actually just kind of like
In search of.
promoting or advocating. Express yourself. Don't let those emotions stay. Like take the first step to like to express yourself and be a gift to everybody.
Yeah.
Like
that's
serve like just serve humanity. Like people are probably missing out. own like potential, and that's what I tell everybody. Everybody has potential. What I mean, and the only thing that I want to do, like I want to, like show people like, yeah, you're fucking beautiful. You have the potential to do whatever you want. You just have to like start, take a step,
Dive
get
into
out
the
of the
water.
yeah, dive into the water. You're not gonna die. Just go. You might choke a little bit, but it's okay. It's water. Water is life. so, I mean, yeah, I mean,
A lot of us don't
like,
know how to swim, man.
Yeah, yeah. If y'all
exactly.
need a sound journey or something at the
That is
event,
so
Yeah,
dope.
that'd be
Yeah,
awesome,
that'd be
man.
awesome.
You could be our opener, man.
yeah, I could do an opening sound journey.
Yeah.
If you,
If
Yeah.
you need a drummer, I play percussions.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
cool.
he's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
we can- we
He's
can-
a really good percussionist. So
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
it's amazing.
I'm down. Yeah, I have an event February 14th at the Living Arts. We're doing a Valentine's Day
Oh, cool.
cacao ceremony, intentional dance, and then like a tea lounge area too.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So it's gonna be like a dance floor tea lounge with opening cacao sound healing.
Is this in Durham or Chapel
It's
Hill?
in Durham at the
Okay.
Living Arts Collective.
Living Arts Collective. Oh yeah, I think that's near the
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
East. Go ahead.
Motorco.
Yeah, Motorco, near Motorco. Yeah,
Yeah, it's right across the street from Motorco. We also do breathwork meditation every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I think I mentioned that at the beginning.
Do you guys do the ice baths too, or not really?
We haven't been doing the ice baths, but it's definitely I've been seeing a lot of friends like in Asheville,
Yeah.
and in California. They've been doing the breath and then getting in the ice, the Wim Hof method, and getting in the ice bath. But I haven't personally gotten in an ice bath yet.
Dude, I haven't personally done it, but like ever since I looked up Wim Hof and I've been like reading his stuff, looking at his YouTube tutorials and stuff like that. He has like a 20 day cold shower challenge or something. So I've been taking cold showers,
Nice.
and it has helped me. I mean, because like every now and then I take a warm shower and I go outside and I feel cold, man. I'm like, ooh, I'm like shivering. But when I take a cold shower and I go outside, I'm like, it's not that bad. Like
Yeah.
it feels good. So to a certain extent, they do work. I mean, they do work, but I really do want to like just get in a bathtub full of ice and just like submerge myself to see like like the feeling to just like I don't know, get out of that comfort zone to a certain extent,
Right.
to see how much I can handle,
Right.
and like just be calm and like breathe, and because I feel like breathing is the key,
the key.
because if you start taking like
Yeah.
that shallow breaths instead of
Yeah.
like just like being calm and like breathing and then just breathing out, I feel like that helps a lot. Just learning how to breathe and like disciplining yourself to like embracing just
Comfort.
like in comfort.
Yeah.
What do you
yes.
do to embrace that besides breathing? Whenever you have a rush of negative energy and something that is, that thing behind your head is like an itch. Do you look at the itch or you scratch it?
Yeah, I mean, I like to do art. I'll go and paint. I'll play music. I'll go for a walk out in nature. I'll listen to music.
I would love to put some of your art on our website, man.
Yeah.
Just to put the pictures there.
Yeah, I'll definitely send you some images
Yeah.
that I have. I'd love to share it.
I love
Yeah.
painting too, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a pretty good painter, dude.
Yeah.
Since I used to think I was something. I used to think I was a martial artist. I used to think I was a musician. I used to think I was, these things. Now I came to realize that I'm none of that shit. I do them, but I'm not that. I'm just me. So since I started understanding the way my mind is, works, I stopped practicing martial arts like I used to. That was my life back in music and martial arts. That was it. That's all I thought about. That's all I thought about.
What martial arts did you do?
Well, I did a few. I have a few. This is kind of silly, man. I feel weird saying it. I have a few black belts in different martial arts.
Yeah?
And,
Oh, cool.
and so I back in the day, I was I have like 3 black belts and 3 from martial arts. What's up? You know, now I'm like that's silly. Why would why would I be proud of that shit? I don't care anymore. I still practice because I love it.
Yeah.
I sometimes I just hit the bag. I teach him a little bit. I train him a little bit, and I'm not that. I'm not even a good fighter. I mean, who am I lying? What am I lying? Who am I lying to? You know, I like to train because it makes me feel great. And when my ego was up to my head, I thought I was the greatest fighter ever. You know, which I'm not. Which I'm not. You know, I'm fucking this skinny dude. I might know how to defend myself, but to be a fighter, I'm not a fucking fighter. You know, I like the art. I like to practice. I like to hit the bag. I like to teach them sometimes. Not to teach it as an instructor,
Right.
but to share what I know with my friends, not with the public. I used to teach in a lot of schools around here,
Okay.
but you know that's not me. That's not me, man. I'm not a martial artist. I like to practice martial arts, but not a martial artist. I like to play instruments. I don't think of myself as a musician. I know how to play instruments, but I'm not a musician. You know, I do it for fun. I do it because it brings, like you say, it brings something out of me that is deep in there, and I express that through my art, which is either martial arts or, like you said, painting. Since I started breathing and going into this journey, I started like painting. I never painted before. I started to paint trippy things, nothing masterful or anything like that. Just things like that over there. I have some other paintings in that workout area that I built over there that are not great, but it just brings something in my mind that makes me see a part of me that I never saw before. You know, and that is to me is very it's a reward,
Rewarding.
rewarding to just be able to say, oh shit, that was my head, now it's out here, and that taught me. I had this flash of not insight, but this flash of a thought that I had where I was making something, and I thought, shit, because I started looking around everything that we have, everything, the most simple tool that we made was first once a thought, and then we manifested that thought into reality, and that's all that we have. We are all, everything that we own, everything that we have is just a thought. You know, maybe perhaps we are just thoughts talking to each other. I don't know, man. But isn't interesting to see that when you stop identifying yourself as something with somebody or with something, more things come out, and you start seeing that you don't narrow your mind to this one thing.
Right. Like the idea of being undefined and being pure potential.
Yeah.
Like, when you're undefined, you can be anything.
Exactly.
But once you've been defined, then you're like that.
My friend here, he's a beautiful writer. He writes beautiful things, man. He does. He has beautiful poems that sometimes not I shall you not, and I'm not kicking his ass, licking his ass or anything. I am being completely honest, and I truly believe this, and I'm not lying when I say this. Sometimes I read some of his poems, and they give me like that feeling of like not peace, but this sentiment, this like whatever he writes, like this emotion, but
Yeah.
melancholy. This melancholy when I'm reading these things, and I just like this knot in my throat, because like, fuck, man, that was beautiful. and
That's
I'm
awesome.
not, and I'm not shy or afraid to say that.
Right.
Yeah, when I read some of his shit, sometimes I cry
Yeah.
because what he writes, I know he's coming out of a place where it's pure intent, pure love, pure awareness of his own thoughts and his own mind. And when you show that to everybody, that is a gift that
Yeah,
you're
that's
giving to the
medicine.
rest. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
And things that he writes, man, fuck, man. I'm like, damn, that shit's beautiful, man. And I don't know. I've become more open to express my feelings, to allow myself to feel whatever I'm feeling.
Do you have a poem you want to share?
One hopefully universally moves. The one-tone tune of eternal silence. I got so much to show you, although I know you've seen it all. I want to share this microscopic view of how to see and feel the universe, to feel the reason why flowers bloom, why we open our eyes every morning and decide to keep living regardless of what we think we might feel. That eternal struggle, but can see. I can just only say it's me. It's love.
That was beautiful.
Right?
Awesome. Yeah, that was really good.
He wrote one that I always keep in mind. And actually, I'm trying to make this art piece, this painting out of that. I'm still working on it. Haven't been inspired to actually paint it, but I started with one of his poems that he said. Um, he wrote something about death. That you're beautiful. Remember that one?
Yeah, I think I
Something
remember
with the
it.
leaves about autumn when
Oh man,
she
yeah.
was next to you.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
told
yeah.
you, what do you think about the place? What do you think of making the place? And you
Oh
said,
yeah, yeah.
it's beautiful. That poem just, oh man, that poem got me every time. Every time I read that poem of him, man, I get this fucking feeling of like, oh man, that shit is fucking, that's the purpose of being, you know? That
Yeah.
is the purpose of being here and appreciating what you have here. Because a lot of us think or prepared for something more beyond life. We prepare for what is beyond life. We don't know what's fucking beyond life. We should appreciate what we have here, right now, what is tangible, right here. This is heaven, right here. Don't wait till you die to go to heaven. Make this heaven. This is heaven. You can make it hell too if you want to, but that's up to you. You know, that's completely up to you.
Right.
And that poem always bring that thought in. That poem gets me.
Yeah.
Oh man, that poem gets me.
So I found it.
Go for it, man.
As we enjoyed the walk, the chat. We sat and we watched the view. As we sat together, she smiled and said, "I really hope you like what I've done with the place." I smiled back and said, "You're beautiful." Poem called. The poem is called "A Walk with Death." And the pictures is just fall, you know.
Yeah, you have to go with the picture.
Yeah.
The picture is
You know, that's the picture. That's it. It might not be loading too much, but I'll send it to you later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You know, in my Instagram, that's all I have. Like just poems, and like pictures that I take of nature and.
Cool.
that poem is short. To me, it touches some part of myself where I see life was about making money, you know, being somebody, being something. The only people kind of give you a place in their mind, you know, a high place.
Sing, you know, like be able to live, you know, to collectively dream and experience reality is a blessing. I feel like, you know, we've all waited a long time to like get to this point, and now that we're here, there's just, you know, infinite opportunities to express ourselves and to discover ourselves. So I think that life allows that opportunity in a really beautiful way.
Do you meditate on death ever?
Yeah, totally. Like I'll wake up in the morning and be like, if this is my last day, or like, yeah, I definitely feel death. Like as I get older, I feel death is closer to me, and and I'm okay with it, you know, especially because, you know, the more I, you know, journey and explore and express, the more I realize that death is okay and that it's part of the process,
We can learn from it.
and it's something that we can learn from, like that transforms, you know, our daily lives, like when we realize that death is present, or you know, or even like I remember when my sister, you know, was like gonna die, or like when she was in ICU and like, you know, we didn't know if she was gonna survive. That like it made me like super conscious of myself, and also made me like really grateful for just every moment. And, it's interesting how like, you know, really traumatic events can make you aware of how life is like, you know, it's just like these like fleeting moments. Like it feels like, you know, like you get to where you are and it feels like, man, that was I got here pretty fast, or like it didn't feel that long. You know, I was a kid yesterday, and now I'm,
True.
you know, like 30 years old. And, I'm gonna be 32 in March, but you know, it's like, dang, like, the years are just going by. But I still, there's this youth that I feel too, that like I feel like you don't have to like grow old in the traditional fashion.
Yeah,
Like
I understand what you're saying.
I feel like friends that like have like gone right in, you know, went from university right into the workforce and like, you know, did the worked 40-hour weeks. I feel like they've definitely like, there's an aspect of,
They're surviving. You're living.
there's an aspect that I feel like has aged them just from the stress. Like when I look at like, you know, when we interact, I feel like I like look younger just because I haven't stressed myself out. But at the same time, like I don't have a bunch of financial like resources that people might have, you know, achieved from working for, you know, the last 10 years of their life. But you know, I feel like that's the trade-off. Like, where is wealth like health, or is wealth having like some money and being really tired and like having a bunch of health problems? Like, so yeah, it's definitely like it's a balance to like being able to have your needs met and being like extra healthy. Like, feels it's always like something that needs to be realizing that like death is gonna come and sweep all that away.
Yeah.
Taking anything with you, man.
You're not
Right,
taking
so-
anything at all.
Yeah.
You might be holding on to, or relationships. I just got out of like this 8.5 year long relationship over the summer, and that was really transformative too, because I was like, you know, I was getting to that point where, you know, financial resources were becoming like more something that, you know, that she wanted more in the relationship, and I wasn't as concerned with. But you know, like having a family is natural. Like when you have a kid, like you have money. And like,
Do you have any kids?
no, but I didn't have any kids. Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to have any kids yet. Or like I'd have a kid whenever I got good enough at all my gifts that like, you know, I could financially support that. But I felt like, you know, I don't know. It's interesting because I've seen people that have kids and then they're like, you know, once I had the kid, then like I figured, like I got this wisdom and like
Yeah.
I made it all happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
My sister. I have friends that say the same thing.
Yeah, they say the same thing.
I have friends that were shitty people, like thugs, fucking gangsters, and you know, kind of like I was never been a thug or a gangster, but I know nothing like kind of like me, you know. That they have a kid, boom,
Boom.
everything changes, and they get good jobs. They're into their shit. They're responsible, you know. And I was like, what changed, man? My kid, man.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
once I saw my kid, I feel that connection, like everything here rearranged.
Right. There's like an initiation to seeing like yourself reflected and like
Yeah.
looking right
Yeah.
back at you.
Yeah.
Like
That must be sick.
yeah, I don't know about you. Have y'all had
Psychedelic.
kids? Or
No,
man.
We're in the same boat, bro.
Yeah.
We're in the same boat.
Exactly.
Trust me.
I lost my kid when I was gonna have a kid, but the partner that I had at the time had some complications, and you know she had to abort the kid, and it wasn't because we wanted it. It just, you know, she's love, I guess.
Yeah.
And that kind of affect me in a way where you become or start to be very thinking what that is going to be like, and when it goes away, it's like something snaps you out to the reality. And a chain of events happen after that, where you start to think, maybe I'm not the shit. Maybe not, I'm not what I think I was. You know, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe this is a part of life or a sign from the universe or from life or from God or from whatever that told me I wasn't ready. But I think I'm ready. I thought I was ready. I'm not afraid to have a kid. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm financially stable as I want to, but you know, I'm okay. You know,
Right.
I have enough to. I feel support somebody. You know, they're tiny. I don't think
Right.
that's that much money.
I feel like if we have love in our relationship, then like it'll triumph
Triumph. Yeah.
over everything. You
Yeah.
know, like but you need that equate. You need both partners to like
Yeah,
be like
definitely.
full on like jump in that dive in that water
Mhm.
and like and allow love and the spirit of love to create the abundance and like
Exactly.
you know but yeah so um yeah that was a challenge like it was letting go of that um relationship but it was really good in a way like it created a lot of new space in my life to go deeper
New opportunities.
into this mystery of healing and service
You
and
take those hard punches from life and you make something better from it. You don't dive into the sadness, but you use it as a tool to overcome whatever your shit is.
right exactly you could just like be all like sad and like heartbroken and just be like suffering over loss or you could just
Learn from it.
learn from it and be positive and let go and allow create space for new things to come into your life and being open to receive what's coming so yeah I feel like that was a good that was a good journey and a lot of really beautiful things have happened um, since then in my life and I'm really grateful that it's been unfolding that way and just like having friends and community that support me and
Help you overcome it.
right yeah they help me and yeah exactly just like you know people who are into like what I'm doing and like the energy that I'm bringing and be like yeah just keep doing what you know like that level of human validation like having validation it's not necessary but it's definitely like when your community is like thank you and you're like thank you it's a really beautiful thing
Your friends help a lot. He and my other friends help me a lot. Well, my I mean I don't like to talk about this, but why not? You know, I was married back in the day, and my wife passed away, and it was when I started hanging out with them, and he did and other friends they helped me so much to overcome that I feel like if it wasn't for them, it would take a longer to overcome that process. You know, and they were key for me to accept what happened and be okay with it, and to see and appreciate them even more than what I appreciate. I appreciate even more than what I would if none of this had happened before. Then I realized that you should express and really tell them that I love them. I tell my friends that I love them often. More when they leave because from my experience, I don't know if they're gonna see them again.
right
I don't want to have a bad attitude with them, and that be the last thing I said to them, or that be the last thing I did, or anything like that. So every time, that taught me to love them, to appreciate them, and to actually let them know that I love them and appreciate them. Because this is temporary, man, and at any time it can be gone. And the more are, the more you are resilient to expressing yourself and to give yourself to others, the more baggage you're gonna have, or you're gonna have to be dragging when those people are gone. And to tell them, man, you look good today. like your hair, or I like your outfit, or man, I love you, bro, or I like you, bro. You know, sometimes I send them text, they might think I'm fucking crazy. I'm like, I mean, I'm like, okay, I love you too, fucking weirdo. But it's because I'm feeling that at the moment,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna, I don't want them to leave, or I wanna leave here, this planet, without, without them knowing that I truly do, and I truly do love them as my friends, you know. And that is why I see death the way I see it, which is sad but beautiful, and makes you appreciate them more. Makes you appreciate what you have right now more. It makes you see that what you have right now is the most important thing. You know, it's not what could happen. We don't know what fucking could happen. The present, the past, and the future are nothing more than a fucking thought. What is real is right now. What is happening right fucking now. That is reality. And most of us think what happened to us, our traumas from the past, our fucking problems from yesterday, or last month, or breakup from last year. You know, or we're thinking about what we're gonna, how much money, or what we're gonna be in the next month, the next year. And we completely forget the beauty of what we have right now. And we think that these things, the past and the future, are more real than the present. And I think that's bullshit. I truly think that's bullshit. That's nothing more than a fucking thought. It's an imagination. The present and the future only exist in your mind, nowhere else. You always live in here and now, and that is what is real. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All we have is now, and being grateful for the moment, allows us to be more present.
Yeah.
And,
I didn't mean to get sad on you people. I'm sad.
No, not at all, man.
It's all good. No, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. So, man, we appreciate you, man.
We really appreciate you. We really do.
We really do, man. I really appreciate you coming here today.
Yeah.
I had no expectations. I was like, where am I? Right? I like knocked on this other lady's door.
Yeah, he got a little lost, dude. I was like, I was outside waiting for him. Like, where is he? I was like, and then I saw his text. He was like, I'm like, there's a bubble right in front of the house or something. Like, there's no bubble here, bro. But I mean, finally he found his way, brother. You know?
Yeah,
We really do appreciate you, man. You really kind of brought some light into today's moment.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
it's super grateful to be able to share my story and with y'all, and being able to project my voice on the interwebs. It's
Yeah,
Give us
man.
something more, man. Before we go, give us something more, something cool. Something. I mean, everything you do is cool, but something more.
Do you want like a sound or
whatever,
something?
Whatever you want, brother.
Whatever it comes to you right
Whatever
now.
comes to you.
Just do like so I do that long throat thing, but I also can like break it up and like make like different like shamanistic sounds. So I'll do it.
That's pretty dope, man.
So
Damn.
it's cool. I like to like experiment with like vocal toning and
How long you been practicing?
I think I've been practicing it probably since like 2012. I think I started to like getting into like these like vocal frequencies.
Mm.
Like picking up like some Tibetan singing bowls, and
Yeah.
I had some friends that were coming over, and we were toning. And then I had another friend that discovered throat singing. I was like, dude, you need to teach me that. And he was just staring at me doing it, and I just started doing it. And yeah, it was really cool to experience that like guttural frequency resonation. Yeah, and I feel like there's just like information in those frequencies, and it brings a lot of like peace and harmony.
Love.
And love. Yeah, it's yeah, I definitely enjoy toning and just vocalizing different sounds, and like making like nature sounds, and stuff like that. So
That's nice, man.
enjoy that.
Do you have any social media where people can contact you?
Yeah, Inner Space Journeys
Mhm.
on Instagram and on Facebook, and that's where you can find my events, my paintings, and my jewelry.
Nice. Do you, so all your your jewelry, your paintings, do you sell them like on spot, or do you have like a online store, or do you people just
Yeah.
go on Facebook and just ask for it?
Yeah, just Facebook and Instagram. I don't have like an online store,
Okay, okay,
website.
Okay.
Eventually, yeah, I'm looking to like have like my prints available and like my jewelry up, but I've just been like just in creation mode and haven't really been in marketing mode.
We offer you that, man. We can offer you that, dude. We can help you put your paintings on our website, and you want to put a price on them or whatever. We can
Yeah.
start helping you.
Either that or actually I have a friend. He's gonna have some showing here in like an art gallery showing for like a month. It's gonna be like an all month showing event.
Okay.
And if you want to have some of your work,
Yeah,
you know,
I'd
show,
to.
I mean, you can definitely, I can definitely make that happen if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm super interested.
So that'd be nice, you know. I mean, get you some exposure.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Brother, we appreciate you.
Yeah,
really appreciate
thank you,
it.
brothers.
Thanks for your
Yeah,
time.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man, that was awesome, brother.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
Amazing. Give us another song with your flute, man. I really like the flute.
Yeah, I'll do a little clothing song.
Thank you, people, for
Thank you.
listening today.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good one.
Dude, that was amazing, dude.
Shoot.